this Brother Blue? And I talked to my friends. And we looked at him and I said, I don't know. And we asked him, Blue, how old are you? And he said, I'm as old as the world and as new as tomorrow. I said, Blue, how old are you? I was born fully grown and fully clothed. I said, Blue, how old are you? Oh. And Brother Blue, it wasn't until I read in his obituary that he had died when he was 88.
Wow.
Brother, that means when I started doing the math backwards, he was 68 when he started his story swap. So he's so famous for here in Cambridge. He had him in lots of different places, and he was here at this spot for the last go-round, and now they still meet on, they call it Story Space. And Brother Blue was the kind of person, I must have had meal after meal with him, but when I would sit there, I have never missed a meal. If I come to your place and we're talking, I mean, you might have some new poems you want to share with me, but I'll say, can you pass the potatoes, please? And I'll get those. Brother Blue, if you were sitting at a table, he wouldn't eat. He would talk to you. He would turn to you and say, I love what you said. That's beautiful. And Ruth, his wife, would always go ahead and bring his food home in a container so that when she would take the food home, then he would eat something. But he would, I mean, I've gone down to Mike Meyer's house in Rentham. They had Day for Sam. Brother Blue came down to Rentham. Mike's son Sam died when he was 5 years old, and Mike was heartbroken. And after about 5 years, he wanted to do something to honor his son, and Brother Blue was a headliner for the festival to come down. And people would come over, and all the money raised went to the soup pantry that was in Rentham. Now, Brother Blue would also come to Beverly, where I live, and my friends would have arts in the park. And he and Ruth would come up on the train, and they would run over and pick them up at the depot and bring them over to Lynch Park in Beverly. And Brother Blue, he would go on for a half hour, but he sat there for 3 hours because he wanted to see everybody else. Brother Blue, when he would listen to a story, he would listen to it with his whole body. He would go ahead and drink it in. And you could just tell when you were speaking and he was listening, he made me feel like it was the most important person in the entire world. And Brother Blue, I gotta say that the world, there's a hole in the world that's not there. I mean, that he's missing from. And I was looking, Brother Blue had a pretty big obituary that was in the New York Times. Now, when I die, I might have a small paragraph in the Beverly Citizen on the back page, and there's no cars for sale that day. But Brother Blue, we have a listserv that goes around for storytellers. Everybody signs up on this at once. We have a couple hundred people from all over New England. And on November 4th, on 2009, Laura and Kevin Brooks, I would say, was sort of the adopted children of Brother Blue. They took Blue to doctor's appointments. They helped take him out and get groceries. They would drive over, and just wonderful people. And Laura put this out. It was 3:21 a.m. We eat nothing but music wrapped in a body made of snow. On Tuesday night, storytelling night, November 3rd, 2009, our beloved mentor, teacher, and self-proclaimed holy fool, Brother Blue, left this world to go be with the ancestors. We who remain are so very blessed by his presence in this world and in our lives. He taught us how to live stories, not just tell them. He told us that storytelling is God talking to God and modeled it every single day. And when Blue listened, he listened powerfully with his whole heart, all his soul and all his strength. Anyone who has ever been near him knows this. He didn't just change the world, he changed worlds. Every single person he met, in the street, at festivals, in prisons, at storytelling gatherings, in the offices of academics, and wherever there was music. If Blue were here to talk about him now, about himself now, he would say, don't remember Blue, remember Ruth. Ruth is truth. Ruth, Blue's amazing wife, who has kept him from floating off into the clouds for decades, is doing about as well as can be expected. Brother Blue passed peacefully. He was ready. He got to tell one last story to his beloved Ruth and then let go. As far as we can tell, he was not in any pain.